Hi everyone. So this video is the continuation of Mmpc016 Unit number 2. Having discussed the concept of globalization in sufficient detail, we now turn our attention to another aspect, that is the origin and evolution of globalization. Origin of globalization. Globalization is the process which began in the 20th century with the spread of capitalist system around the world. However, globalization has evolved over centuries as a socio-economic phenomenon. As a result, globalization is not a new phenomenon as the world system has maintained some of its main features over several centuries. In the beginning of 14th century, modern political system of governance originated in parts of Western Europe, which was experiencing a prolonged crisis of feudalism. This paved the way to the rise of market institutions and technological innovation. Europeans reached other parts of globe through the long distance trade routes and made technological advances in production techniques and methods. Europeans started colonizing the parts of the world, taking raw material and processing it into finished good and again selling those goods in the markets around the world, including their colonial markets. This led to accumulation of wealth which supported a strong and superior military power. The technological innovations resulted in improved means of transportation, thus further facilitating the strong economic linkages among nations around the globe. In nutshell, a capitalist economic power of the Europe succeeded in geographic and occupational division of labor. Now, the stages of globalization. There are various stages, but four distinct stages of globalization we'll see here. Each stage of the evolution is marked by changes in technological innovations and international trends. The first stage, which started in 1830, became more stabilized in by 1880. The period was marked by the growth of global business due to the development of railroads, ocean transport, and large-scale manufacturing and trading companies. Telegraph and telephone were invented, which further gave rise to enhanced information flows between nations and facilitated the management of supply chains among the companies. Second stage, which started in 1900, was marked by the increase in electricity and steel production. This stage of globalization reached its climax during the Great Depression of 1929. Western Europe was the most industrially developed region of the world in 90s. Multinational firms were established as a result of European colonization of Asia, Middle East, and Africa. The companies like Siemens, Nestle, Shell, and British Petroleum has established their subsidiaries in various parts of the world. Before First World War, which happened in 1914, many companies were established at the global level. Third one, the third stage of globalization started around 1945 after World War II, when Europe and Japan were devastated by the war, and USA and as well USSR emerged as a dominant power. During the war, the trade barriers were high. Soon the developed countries wished to lessen the barriers to international trade. This led to Bretton Woods Conference of 1947, in which 23 countries participated and resulted in the setting up of General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, which sought to liberalize trade and investment by reducing barriers. This gave rise to industrialization, modernization, and improving the standard of living. GATT was subsequently replaced by another multilateral agency, that is WTO, World Trade Organization, which is established to regulate international trade and investment and to introduce equality and transparency in global exchange. We already learned about that. WTO, GATT, GATT, WTO, these concepts we already know. To further facilitate international cooperation, two international organizations, International Monetary Fund, World Bank, was set up in 1944. This was followed by the rise of multinational corporations like Coca-Cola, Philips, and IBM, which established their global presence by the virtue of technological and competitive advantages and started outsourcing their business to developing countries to reap the benefits of cheap labor and easy access to global markets. By 1960s, the increase in the process of liberalization by removing trade barriers and currency controls led to increase in international trade and investment and integrated international financial markets. This was followed by increasing competition among the US, European, and Japanese MNCs. 1980s marked the beginning of the fourth and present stage of globalization, which experienced increasing global trade and investments. This stage witnessed increasing use of computer, internet, and development of information and communication technologies. The newer and smarter technologies are enabling the industrial production, which is widely referred as Industrial Revolution 4.0. This period saw the disintegration of Soviet Union 1991, emergence of market economies of Europe 1990 to 2008, and development of countries like China, Brazil, India, and Mexico 1980 to date. Technological advancement in transportation, information, and communication led to integration of world economy and also facilitated development of services like insurance, banking, fintech, e-commerce, infotainment, retailing, and tourism. This was followed by strategic alliances like mergers and executions among corporate units, and the world came to know as a global village. The four stages of globalization with their triggers and key characteristics are presented in table 2.1. If in exam they will ask you a long question, you can write all these things, and if there is a short question, then you can go with this the points only. So if you see once, or if you read, or if you listen once, you can go through with this, okay? And then you can attempt the exam also, and easily you can write. The important things are already we discussed. So in this chart, with the help of this chart, you can easily understand, and you can elaborate the things. Only you have to remember the year, which fourth stage, fifth stage, like that, and then you can easily elaborate the things. So thank you for now. We'll meet in the next video.